Hey guys, welcome to another video. Tonight I'm going to talk about the ADI Studios Sideshow Collectible Predalien Maquette. Now there's a lot to talk about with this piece. It's kind of funny because these things are so big, even with my kind of background to try to hide a little bit of the kitchen and some other stuff I have on my table. In order to get the whole thing, you back up, and then when you back up, you sort of defeat the purpose of the screen because then you just sort of see everything around it. So this is about as much as I can do to kind of give you the entire shot. So what is this thing? This is the major monster from Alien vs. Predator Requiem, I believe. And the idea behind this is what would happen if an alien implanted a chest burster in a predator. As you may or may not know from alien mythology, the monster that comes out takes on part of the characteristics of the host. So the alien in Alien, directed by Ridley Scott, of course, burst out of a human being's chest, and so therefore had a rather humanoid appearance. That would be the original big chap. And then you had the smaller alien warriors that also burst out of human beings. In Alien 3, the chest burster actually infiltrated a dog. And so the alien that came out was dog-like. So going by that, if you have a chest burster implanted in a predator, you would have a true monstrosity, a so-called Predalien, right? That has the best and the worst of both species. And so this was the design that was created for Alien vs. Predator Requiem, which by the way is an atrocious movie. I've watched it a couple times. The lighting is horrible. I mean, the monster actually looks pretty neat, but you can't see it because half the movie looks like it's basically in complete darkness, and you can make out hardly anything. So it's kind of nice to at least admire this creature, and you have actually the ability to see what it's like. This was sculpted by Steve Wang, who is a very, very famous movie effects guru, sculptor, painter. He was the one who actually worked with Stan Winston in creating the original Predator. So he did this work in conjunction with ADI, which did the original special effects for Alien vs. Predator Requiem. So this is about as authentic as it gets. That's why they call it a maquette, because it's literally from the mold and from the people who actually did the effects for the movie itself. So it doesn't get better than that. They released only a limited number of these. I confess to forgetting exactly how many. This is actually what they call a production sample. So this was what they dragged around to all the shows like Comic-Con, etc., to show it off. And I managed to get that. He's a pretty rare to obtain otherwise. And when I got him, he was quite a bit beaten up. I mean, there were a lot of paint flecks, a little chip, a little crack here or there. The paint was, of course, very, very flat. For those of you fortunate enough to own this, you'll know that the paint, left a little bit to be desired. And so when I got him, I decided to take advantage of a relationship I had with a guy named Chase Smith. He runs a shop called Little Shop of Horrors. He's based in Iowa, I believe. And he's one of the best monster painters on the planet. He does something with the time and the detail to just bring the piece to life. He spends a lot of time on it. He puts a lot of subtle shading. He brings out all the colors. I don't know actually at the end of the day what he does, but he works his magic on it. He did one of the best alien big chap build-ups I've ever seen, and I own that one, and I'll review that in time. He does dinosaurs. He specializes again in Alien and Predator. And his work is truly fantastic. His actual claim to fame and something that he's really known for is he does a remarkable alien dog life-size bust. And he's one of maybe 2 people in the world who can really give you a piece that is unique. And it's not cheap. Again, I like to mention that art is not cheap, and art shouldn't be cheap. Art doesn't come free. These people spend hundreds of hours refining their craft and delivering these things for you. But it is worth it if you care about stuff like that. So I sent it to him, and he repainted it, repaired everything, made it perfect, and then gave it back to me. And this is just really a phenomenal job that he did on this. First of all, understand the challenge. He's humongous. Hopefully when I back up, you can kind of get an idea of how big he is. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to him. Take my hand, touch that, so you can actually see how large this is compared to my hand. You have some idea of the scale of this thing. And you know, he could only work with basically 2 parts. This thing doesn't come in multiple parts. There's no lines. Literally, the tail comes off, and then that's it, and then the base. So, you know, when he's trying to do his airbrushing, all of his detail, a lot of it had to be done by brush because he literally had to go through the angles and get all these little hard to reach spots. So he brought it to life. I mean, he put a level of detail on it that I don't even know high definition video can adequately catch. I definitely turned off the flash for this video because I didn't want any of these colors, any of the shading to be washed out. But when you first get it, it's just amazing how much he pops. And he put a little tiny bit of gloss over it, so it really feels a little bit slimy. It kind of reminds you of that slime that, you know, the monsters have in the movies. So again, overall, just probably one of the best painted pieces I own, and I own a lot of them, as you'll see. If you want to contact him, you know, you can find him on Facebook. Just check for Chase Smith or Little Shop of Horrors, and you'll readily find him. Yeah, it's really a pleasure and an honor just to even own one of his pieces. He's very busy, and the sort of time he puts into these things is staggering. The amount of patience it takes to even do it is crazy. So again, you just have this really cool looking monster designed by ADI and Steve Wang. The pose is nice, it's a museum pose. Here's the base, very simple. Nothing to detract from this. And then of course, Chase with that repaint just took it to the next level. So let's start focusing. Here we go. You have the inner jaw, the tongue, chrome painted. So it's sort of like again, you can see that hybrid nature, the predator's jaws right here on either side, of course, of the famous alien tongue and the jaw here. The dome is see-through. You have to go a little bit closer to see that, but it is see-through. That's from Alien. And then you have the dreads on the side, like so. And on the other side, like so. So a very interesting combination again of alien elements and predator elements. The predator jaws on the side and the dreads, but then the alien with the inner tongue, the dome, and kind of the length of the head. This part here, this is all alien. And this is sort of reminiscent of the alien queen with her crown on both sides here. So the sack on that side. And then for sure, these guys over here, the spines, definitely from Alien, right? The tail, absolutely from the Alien. that wicked sharp tip. But I think the hands, the arms, that's very Predator-like, definitely the chest, the torso. But then the legs are very alien-like as well. So it's actually a pretty decent hybrid. I mean, it really does show features from both. I'm trying to get in so you can actually appreciate all the spots. And I look at all of the spots, all of the detailing. It's just sort of insane what Chase had to do. And remember, he couldn't take it apart. He had to do all of it, a lot of it with a brush. Got the little tiny dots here. I mean, that's insane. Trying to go over every little area of him. Look at that. Some of it I can't really even get too close because my camera won't fit. But all of the little tiny subtle shadings and blendings, camouflage, dots. Here's the arms. Here's the back. Where the tail starts. Look at the tail. It's remarkable. It's claws. Back up a little bit, turn them around a little bit. You can kind of see how the light shines off of the gloss. Again, it just kind of gives you the illusion that he's this like living, breathing thing. All these secretions, kind of like slime, you know? So yeah, this is the only one repainted by him. One of a kind, essentially. Maybe one of you guys out there can talk him into doing it again, but he had a heck of a time doing this, and he doesn't know if you ever want to do it again. You're gonna need to convince him by giving him some monetary compensation here. Sorry for the background. You can tell it's near July 4th and my neighbors are getting rid of some of the extra fireworks. All right, this is it. Predalien Maquette, ADI, repainted by Chase Smith. It does not get better than this, folks. Here you go. Until next time, take care.